Hey, welcome everyone. Today we'll learn about how to structure your Terraform directory for a modular approach when you're using it for some project. So just we'll go through the what exactly Terraform is and what is this being used for. So it is basically an infrastructure as a code tool. We have something similar in AWS, which is CloudFormation, but Terraform has its own benefits as compared to CloudFormation. So you can create few different TF files, which is basically a Terraform files. You can describe your resources using this file, and then once you execute the file, it just creates your resources. It makes your life easier in terms of managing different versions of your infrastructure, centrally managing your infrastructure, and using the same code to recreate infrastructure multiple times upon changing few variables. So it basically makes life very easier. So yeah, then we have something called modules inside a Terraform. And so if you check, right, so modules is basically something similar to how we have a functions inside any programming language. So we use functions for avoiding repetition of a code. So in Terraform, we don't have functions, we have modules. So let's say you are using one of the resource which has to be created at multiple times on a multiple levels. So instead of rewriting the code, you can just create a module out of it and use that module. So there are quite a few different types of module in the Terraform. First one will be the root module. So this particular module mean the working directory where you are executing your code. Then the child module. The child module is something which is being called by the root module. Then we have a publish module as well. So Terraform has a public repository where every one of us can publish their own set of modules. So yeah, that's about it. So when you try to structure the module, right, which is quite an interesting part, Hashikov describes in this article how do you structure it. But this is basically how you should structure your models, which will be used by other people. But when we talk about using your own module for your own resources or for your own project, it's something interesting. And if you structure your directories well, you'll see that it improves the code readability and simplicity. So I have a directory structure ready, which we can refer for discussion. So whenever in your working directory, right, you can create two folders. Basically, first one for the environments and second one will be for the modules. Inside a modules folder, you can create your own set of modules. So as an example, I'm creating ALB, then backend, and then EC2, RDS, S3. Inside each of this module, I have a main.tf, outputs.tf, and variables.tf. So main.tf contains a code, Terraform code for creating ALBs. But as we will be repeatedly using this code, right, we won't be serving the exact same names or variables. So that's why we need variables.tf. And this particular resource creations will give some sort of outputs. To catch those, we need to have an outputs.tf file. You can have everything under one file, even that is fine, but it makes things complicated. So it's a good idea to follow the best practice upon how to structure your directories. So once you have the directories, this code you don't execute it directly. So you just create it and refer it in the above section. So inside an environment directory, you can have a multiple different folders for multiple different version of your environment. So let's say in your AWS account, you have three different web environments: dev, prod, and test. So in so only thing which will be different in all three of these environments is the terraform.tf vars. So ideally, this is what the scenario is. But what you can do is you can just have one directory and you can have three TFR files named as dev.tfrs, prod.tfrs, and test.tfrs. And while you're planning doing terraform.plan, you can just pass that TFRs. So even that is one a way to do it, but it's upon person to person how you want to do it. So here in the main.tf, you reference these modules. So using a Terraform modules resource type, you go and refer this particular module or any published module on the Terraform public repository. What it does is it actually pulls out all these files inside this particular file and refer those. For this thing to run, you definitely need some sort of provider. Either you're using AWS or GCP or Azure. Then you serve all the variables that you have created in this file via TFRs, and then you have the versions. So what you're doing basically, so let's say in my dev and prod, I have to update the ELB. I go into the module and make all sort of changes that has to be done. Then I redo the Terraform init configuration with an upgrade flag, and then I just plant and apply. That way, in the both of this file, let's if those are in the production, right? So which is like infrastructure is created, then the change will apply on the both of the files. So that's the one of the way how you should structure your Terraform module. I have been using some sort of similar structure in a lot of production environments and in a lot of multiple complex projects where we use like hundreds of resources. And this type of structure has really helped me to reduce the complexity and like easily solve or debug the code if there are any errors. This was very quick video. Thank you so much for watching. Have